Most parents don't mean to misunderstand their child. They don't wake up thinking, "Today I'll label my child wrong," or "Today I'll ignore what they really feeling." It happens quietly in normal homes, during normal days, usually when you're tired, stressed, or already carrying too much. Your child starts crying, screaming, dropping to the floor, throwing things, pushing you away, or completely shutting down. And your brain reaches for the fastest label it knows: tantrum, misbehavior, drama, attention seeking, something that needs to stop, something you need to fix quickly. And in that moment, without realizing it, a very important message gets missed. Because what looks like a tantrum on the outside is often something very different happening on the inside. When adults feel overwhelmed, we usually have options. We step away, we take a breath, we scroll our phone, we vent to someone, we distract ourselves, or we shut down quietly. Children don't have those tools yet. Their brains are still under construction. The part of the brain that handles logic, control, and calm decision-making is not fully developed, especially in the early years. So when their emotions flood in all at once, they don't experience it the way adults do. They don't think, "I'm feeling overwhelmed right now." They feel like something is wrong inside their body, and they don't know how to make it stop. What you see as a tantrum is often a nervous system that is overloaded and asking for help in the only way it knows how. This is why two children can look the same on the outside but be in completely different emotional states on the inside. One child might be crying loudly because they want a toy and didn't get it. That is closer to what people think of as a tantrum. Another child might be crying just as loudly because their brain has reached its limit. Too much noise, too many instructions, too much pressure, hunger, tiredness, change, confusion, or emotions they can't name yet. From the outside, both look identical. From the inside, they are not even close. When we treat both the same way, we miss the child who isn't misbehaving at all, but struggling. Young children don't have the words to explain what's happening to them. They don't know how to say, "My body feels too full," or "My brain is tired," or "I'm scared and I don't know why." So their body speaks for them, through crying, through screaming, through freezing, through pushing you away and then reaching for you at the same time. This is not manipulation. This is communication without language. And when we respond as if it's bad behavior, the child learns something very quietly but very deeply. They learn that their hardest moments are also the moments they are most alone. Many parents are told that if they don't stop tantrums early, they're creating a spoiled child. They're told that comforting a child too much will make them weak or dependent. They're told that kids need to learn who's in charge. So when a child falls apart emotionally, the instinct becomes control instead of connection. Stop crying. Calm down. Go to your room. I'll talk to you when you behave. But the truth is, a child who is emotionally overwhelmed cannot calm down on command. Their body is already past that point. Asking them to calm down without helping them regulate is like telling someone who is drowning to swim better. What most people call a tantrum is often a meltdown, and the difference matters more than most parents realize. A tantrum is goal-driven. A meltdown is capacity-driven. A tantrum happens when a child wants something and is testing boundaries. A meltdown happens when a child's system is overloaded and they can't cope anymore. One is about control. The other is about survival. When a meltdown is treated like a tantrum, the child doesn't learn self-control. They learn shame. They learn that their big feelings are dangerous. They learn to hide instead of heal. Think about how often meltdowns happen during transitions. Leaving the park, getting dressed, bedtime, grocery stores, loud places, long days, missed naps, hunger, changes in routine. These are moments of manipulation. These are moments where a child's brain is being asked to do more than it currently can. Their emotional cup overflows and everything spills out at once. And when we punish that overflow, we aren't teaching them to manage emotions. We're teaching them to suppress them. Many adults grew up learning that emotions should be controlled, minimized, or ignored. So when we see a child express emotions loudly, it triggers our own discomfort. We feel embarrassed, judged, or out of control ourselves. We want it to stop, not because the child is bad, but because the situation feels unsafe for us emotionally. That's a human response, but it's important to recognize when our reaction is about our discomfort rather than our child's needs. Children learn emotional regulation through relationship, not isolation. Before they can calm themselves, they need to experience being calmed by someone else. This is how the brain wires itself. When a caregiver stays present, calm, and supportive during emotional storms, the child's nervous system slowly learns that big feelings can pass without danger. Over time, those patterns become internal. That is how self-regulation is built, not by punishment, not by fear, but by repeated experiences of safety during emotional distress. When a child is melting down, their brain is not in learning mode. It's in survival mode. Logic doesn't work there. Lectures don't work there. Consequences don't work there. What works is calm presence, fewer words, a steady voice, a regulated adult nervous system near them. This doesn't mean you give in to everything they want. It means you help them feel safe enough to come back into balance before you address anything else. One of the biggest fears parents have is that responding gently means losing authority. But authority doesn't come from fear. It comes from trust. A child who trusts that you will help them through hard moments is more likely to listen when they are calm. A child who fears emotional abandonment during distress is more likely to escalate, shut down, or rebel over time. Gentle doesn't mean permissive. It means responsive. It means knowing when to hold a boundary and when to hold a child. When we mislabel meltdowns as tantrums, we also miss early signs of emotional overload. We miss the subtle cues that a child is reaching their limit. The quiet withdrawal, the clinginess, the sudden silliness, the increased frustration over small things. These are signals, not problems. Signals that say, something is building inside me. When we slow down and notice these signs, we can often prevent full meltdowns altogether, not by controlling the child, but by adjusting the environment or expectations. Children are not miniature adults. They don't have adult brains, adult coping skills, or adult emotional filters. Expecting them to behave like adults under stress is unrealistic. Yet that expectation is placed on them every day. Sit still, be quiet, share immediately, switch tasks quickly, manage disappointment gracefully. These are advanced skills. When children fail at them, it's not a moral failure, it's a developmental one. A child having a meltdown is not giving you a hard time. They are having a hard time. This simple shift in perspective changes everything. It turns frustration into curiosity. It turns punishment into support. It turns power struggles into opportunities for connection. And connection is what actually shapes behavior long term. Some parents worry that if they respond with empathy, their child will never learn limits. But limits and empathy are not opposites. You can hold a boundary and still be kind. You can say no while staying present. You can acknowledge feelings without changing rules. I won't let you hit, and I can see you're very upset. Both can exist at the same time. That balance teaches children that emotions are acceptable, but behaviors still have limits. What children remember most is not how fast we stopped the crying, but how we made them feel during it. Did they feel understood? Did they feel safe? Did they feel alone? Those emotional memories shape how they relate to themselves and others later in life. A child who is consistently met with calm support learns that emotions are manageable. A child who is consistently met with anger or withdrawal learns that emotions are dangerous. Many adults struggle with emotional regulation not because they were born that way, but because they were never taught how to feel safely. They were taught how to behave, not how to process. They learned to suppress instead of express, to perform instead of feel. And those patterns often start in early childhood, during moments that were labeled as tantrums instead of recognized as cries for help. This doesn't mean parents need to be perfect. No one responds calmly every time. What matters is the overall pattern. Repair matters more than perfection. Coming back after a hard moment and reconnecting matters. Saying, "That was hard for both of us, and I'm here now," matters. Children don't need flawless parents. They need emotionally available ones. If you are watching this and realizing that you may have misunderstood some of your child's behavior, that doesn't mean you failed. It means you're learning. Parenting is not about getting everything right from the start. It's about growing alongside your child. The fact that you're here, listening, questioning, and reflecting already means you care deeply. The next time your child falls apart, pause before labeling it. Ask yourself what might be happening beneath the surface. Ask what their body might be trying to say. Ask whether they are seeking control or seeking safety. That pause alone can change the entire interaction. It can turn a power struggle into a moment of connection. Over time, when children feel safe expressing big emotions, those emotions actually become easier to manage. When emotions are met with fear or punishment, they grow louder. When they are met with calm understanding, they soften. This is not about raising fragile children. It's about raising emotionally secure ones. One day, your child will face disappointment, stress, conflict, and loss without you there to guide them. What you give them now is not just behavior correction, but an internal blueprint for handling life. You're teaching them whether emotions are something to fight or something to understand, whether vulnerability is dangerous or safe, whether they can trust themselves when things get hard. So no, you're not spoiling your child by responding to their emotional needs. You're building their brain. You're shaping their nervous system. You're teaching them how to feel without falling apart. And that skill will matter far more than whether they stopped crying quickly in a grocery store years ago. If there's one thing to remember, it's this. Your child is not broken when they melt down. They are developing. They are learning. They are human. And in those hardest moments, they are not asking for punishment. They are asking for help, even if they don't know how to say it. One day, your child will grow up and face the world on their own. They won't remember every rule you enforced or every behavior you corrected, but they will carry with them the feeling of whether they were safe to fall apart in your presence, whether someone stayed when things got messy, whether love was conditional on calm behavior or steady through emotional storms. And that feeling becomes their inner voice. So when you're calling it a tantrum, pause for just a second, because it might not be misbehavior at all. It might be your child trusting you enough to show you their hardest moment, and how you respond to that moment will quietly shape who they become long after the crying stops.